meet with us before too long.
Pyongyang's increased testing activity is seen as brinkmanship aimed at increasing pressure on Seoul and Washington over those stalled nuclear negotiations.
You're listening to ABC News.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you struggling to make the minimum payments? There are ways to get out of debt, but the credit card companies don't want you to know about it. Debt relief programs through United Debt Counselors can help people like you get out of credit card debt and put you on the path of debt freedom with just one low monthly payment program. Get started right now and call United Debt Counselors at 800-611-9060. Get rid of the stress of struggling to make that monthly payment. High interest rates will be a thing of the past, and chances are you won't have to pay the entire amount you owe. United Debt Counselors has helped thousands of people reduce more than $160 million of debt. You have a right to settle your debt for less than what you owe. You won't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. Get started reducing your debt now. Get free information today by calling United Debt Counselors at 800-611-9060. That's 800-611-9060. United Debt Counselors. Not available in all states.
Just hours to go before Puerto Rico's governor officially steps down, and there are still questions about who'll take over. Ricardo Rosello's resignation, offered after weeks of protests against him, supposed to take effect at 5 this afternoon. Major change in Saudi Arabia. ABC's Jordana Miller has a story.
Saudi Arabia publishing a new law that allows women for the first time to apply for a passport and travel freely without the consent of a male relative. If implemented, it is a historic move that abolishes one of the kingdom's long criticized guardianship laws that treat women as minors and allow men to control their lives.
Worries about an outbreak of hepatitis in the city of brotherly love.
Health officials in Philadelphia trying to raise awareness about a hepatitis A outbreak, urging people at risk to get vaccinated. The health department declaring a health emergency in the city, saying since January they've been notified of 154 cases. That's a jump from 2 to 6 cases per year. The virus is transmitted through fecal-oral contact, person to person, or contaminated food or water. Since last year, more than 12,000 hepatitis A vaccinations have been given. So far, the outbreak continues. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The FBI is now investigating a robbery ring focused on Amazon deliveries. It's believed that millions of dollars worth of goods may have been stolen. Officials in Seattle have already pointed the finger at 2 contract Amazon delivery drivers. This is ABC News.
Did you know that the IRS is getting more aggressive these days? They're using private agencies to track you down. Don't wait. If you owe more than $10,000, take advantage of the Fresh Start Initiative, a program in place that can help you now. You can save thousands and possibly have your taxes forgiven. There's help for those of you who owe $10,000 or more, but it's important that you take action before these programs change. Call the tax experts at Oxford Tax Partners for a free consultation now at 800-575-1919. That's 800-
Phil Sheehan at NC Tractor and Farm Supply wants you to know he is back in business after the fire. New location, 299 Railroad Avenue, and it's a great time to get the tractor you've always wanted. Massey Ferguson, ask about 0% financing with approved credit. Get ready for a busy season with a visit to NC Tractor and Farm Supply in their new location, 299 Railroad Avenue. Phone them. 288-0395.
Rain chances continue for the next several days. Today, we'll have plenty of cloud cover, and that will keep temperatures down, highs in the mid-80s, but expect scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today. Overnight tonight, some thunderstorms linger around with low temperatures in the upper 60s. Mostly cloudy skies Saturday with some late-day showers and thunderstorms and highs in the middle 80s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
We're waking up this morning to cloudy skies. Right now we are at 68 degrees, but climbing up to 82 for a daytime high, and there's 70% chance of rain this afternoon. And tonight we have a chance of rain again, about 70% chance tonight, and dropping back to about where we are right now, around 66 for the overnight low. Tomorrow looks like Saturday's going to be sort of a iffy kind of day, 50% chance of showers developing in the afternoon, and 83. The heat index tomorrow is about 88 degrees, so a little shower might feel good when it comes around, minded. Right now, again, 68 degrees here at WCOB Land. WCAB Land, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, and we're so glad to have you join us on this. Thank goodness it's finally Friday Friends Day. Well, I have these death announcements. Bobby John Jones, 83, of Spindale, died Tuesday at his home. The family will receive friends from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. Saturday, August 3rd at McMahon's Funeral Home. The funeral service will be at the McMahon's Funeral Home Chapel at 11 o'clock Saturday. With Reverend Terry Honeycutt officiating, burial will be at the Spindale City Cemetery following the service. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Bobby John Jones. Mrs. Judy Duncan York, 71, of Ellenboro, died Wednesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, August 3rd at Racepath Baptist Church. Burial will be in the church cemetery. The visitation will be in the church sanctuary following the service. Washburn and Dorsey, funeral and cremation service in charge of the arrangements for Mrs. Judy Duncan York. Bobby Rice, Sr., age 79, of Forest City, died Tuesday at his residence. The funeral will be conducted at 3 o'clock Saturday at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel, with the brother Larry Rice officiating. Burial will follow in the Hicks Grove Baptist Church Cemetery, with military honors being rendered by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Bobby Rice, Sr. Mr. Tommy Philbeck, 72, of Bossick, died Wednesday at his residence. A memorial service be conducted at 2:30 Sunday, August 4th at Salem United Methodist Church. The Reverend Sam Burleson will officiate. Visitation will be from 1 until 2:15 p.m. Sunday in the church sanctuary prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of the arrangements for Mr. Tommy Philbeck. Billy C. Metcalf, a resident of Salt Lake City, Utah, passed away March 23rd. A celebration of life will be held 1 p.m. Saturday, August the 10th at Spencer Baptist Church in Spindale. The family will receive friends following the service in the Family Life Center, and Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Billy C. Metcalf. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning, and the complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report right here on the most information for the Foothills, WCAB. We play good music, but it's what we do between the music that sets us apart. More information, more entertainment, more inspiration right here at 100.9 FM, 590 AM. This program note coming up at a little after 8 o'clock, about 8:05 this morning. Congressman Patrick McHenry will be my guest. I'll be spending some time interviewing him about things that are going on up in Washington and here in the district. Be sure to tune in. Tell your friends to tune in for the Congressman Patrick McHenry interview right here live, exclusively on WCAB. We'll get to the phones in a few moments, find out what's been happening around the neighborhood. Right now, though, we have the Rush Limbaugh Morning Update right here on WCAB's Morning Wake Up Call.
What do you think the biggest challenge the Democrats have this election season? I'll tell you what it is. It's how to put the craziness toothpaste back in the tube. Now, for years, the Democrat MO has been to hide who they really are from everybody. But not anymore. They are loud and proud about how insane they are. And everybody can see how radical and lunatic-wise their presidential field is. But Democrat candidates are not the only wackos. Before Tuesday's Democrat debate, the DNC chairman, Tom Perez, addressed the crowd. After praising Reverend Sharpton as a true leader who supposedly stands up for everybody, Perez went on a global warming rant. Perez said that Trump's Environmental Protection Agency needs to get the memo on climate change. It is a moral, economic, and public health crisis that threatens the entire universe. And because it threatens the universe, we need to take action now. That's right. The Democrat Party's Mr. Big believes that you, driving your cars, living your life, you're not merely putting the Earth in mortal danger. You are threatening the solar system, the Milky Way, the entire universe. They're not just radical, folks. They are certifiable nuts, and they are putting it on full display. Hey, folks, if you can't find the time to do all those small jobs around your home or office, do what I do. Hire it done. I know a company that can help. It's called Tackle. It's spelled Takl. It's an app that you can download on your phone, and it connects you with people who can help you with jobs around your home or office. Now, here's how it works. You download the Tackle app on your phone, and you pick a provider for the work that you need done. Tackle has thousands of providers that have been background checked. Tackle will provide affordable upfront pricing, and all jobs are backed by the Tackle guarantee. And if you need additional help in the future, like yard work, cleaning a pool, mounting a TV, cleaning gutters, packing furniture, whatever, find it on the Tackle app. It's easy. Download the Tackle app now. Again, it's spelled T-A-K-L on your phone, and use the promo code RUSH to get 15% off your first project. Download the Tackle app at the Apple Store. Be like me, folks. Hire this stuff done.
Nothing goes better with your early cup of coffee than Jim Bishop in the mornings on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
Hey, yeah, I like that. Yeah, now.
Dad, guess what?
What?
You are going to be a grandfather.
That's great. You're going to be a wonderful mom, and I can't wait to be a grandpa. Not too long ago, moments like this with my daughter would have been a challenge. It was a long road for me to find myself again after Vietnam. I struggled to connect with almost everyone and preferred being alone. It was my neighbor Jim, another Vietnam veteran, who finally convinced me that I could still connect with my family and find that fulfilling life I'd lost. In fact, I called Jim first with the news about my granddaughter, Lizzie. Hey, Jim, I'm going to be a grandfather.
Congratulations, Dave.
Hey, let's get together and celebrate.
Well, as long as you're not grilling.
My pride was my armor, but I didn't know it then. I couldn't put it into words. I was sad, I was scared, I felt alone. I didn't know how to reach out, so I hid behind anger and silence. But then I decided to listen to Jim, and I went for help down at the VA. If I can take that first step after almost 50 years, I know other veterans can too. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
When you need daycare services for your adult loved one, Rutherford Life Services is always there for a dependable and loving environment. Rutherford Life offers a place to go during the daytime for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and creative activities. Caregivers can go to work knowing that their loved one is in a safe and reliable place. Rutherford Life is licensed by the North Carolina Division of Aging. Rutherford Life has a full staff of trained professionals who show love and support. Call them today and let them answer any questions you may have concerning adult daycare services. 828-288-1697 or visit the facility at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
You know, it's important that we go through live hearing as best we can because there's so many things out there that we need to hear. Birds singing, little babies cooing, and children calling us, and all kinds of things. And if you're beginning to lose your hearing, it's time maybe to step forward and get more questions answered about Miracle Ear. That's what Lisa Terry and her team do. They answer your questions, help you along the process with a free hearing test, and then help you decide what's best. Millions of satisfied Miracle Ear customers around the world have found out there's no better respected, a well-known brand of hearing aids than Miracle Ear. There's a lot of knockoffs out there, but you want something you can depend on for a long, long time. There's so many features you'll appreciate about the Miracle Ear Genius 2.0. Ask Lisa Terry about it when you ask and ready for a positive change in your hearing. You'll find them at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102, and that phone number is 828-368-4126, 368-4126.
While Bill Hickok had traveled to the Dakota Territory for the gold, it took him but a short time to realize the harsh conditions of the gold field weren't for him. He migrated to the poker tables of Deadwood. On August 1, 1876, Wild Bill sat down to a game of poker with some friends at Carl Mann's No. 10 Saloon. As was his custom, he sat with his back to the wall. A saddle bum by the name of Jack McCall joined the game. Losing all of his money, Jack ended up being $3.50 short. After a tongue lashing by Wild Bill, Jack left. The next morning, Wild Bill ran into Jack McCall, and probably understanding what it was like to be broke, he bought Jack breakfast. In the afternoon, Wild Bill returned to No. 10 Saloon to join his friends in the ongoing poker game. Charles Rich was sitting in the chair that backed to the wall, and Hickok said he would join if Charles would give up his chair. Charles chided Hickok about his superstition, so Hickok reluctantly took the open chair. It was about 4:15. Hickok was losing heavily. Then Hickok got 2 black aces and 2 black eights, a hand that had the possibility of getting him back on top. Unknown to anyone, Jack McCall entered the tavern and inched his way along the bar until he was directly behind Wild Bill. Jack McCall pulled an old Colt 45, put it to the back of Wild Bill's head, and pulled the trigger. The gun barked, and the bullet instantly killed Wild Bill. Hickok's hand of aces and eights fell to the floor, ever to be known as a dead man's hand. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Thank you very much, Dakota. Now let's head to the phones and find out what's been going on in the neighborhood past 48 hours or so, 24 hours. Deputy Lynn is on the phone from the Sheriff's Department to give us that update. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on.
Last 24 hours, we've had 197 calls for service. There's been 17 arrests. Currently housed on 198 in the county jail. On incident reports, Tiffany Danielle Hauser reported assault on a female and interfering with emergency communications. Claude Kyle Smith Jr. reported breaking and entering, felony larceny, and damage to property. Samuel Charles Borsellino reported felony larceny. Crystal Luann Scruggs reported larceny of a motor vehicle. Teresa Yvonne Rodriguez reported breaking and entering, injury to real property, and felony larceny. Angela Margaret Perez reported larceny of a firearm. Robert Tallet Reinhardt reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Willie James Edney reported misdemeanor larceny. Amanda Rogers Green reported identity theft. And on arrest reports, Preston Prescott Laws was arrested for violation of a domestic violence protection order, assault on a female, and assault on a child under 12. Was given no bond, placed on domestic violence hold. Gregory Scott Hauser, arrested for assault on a female and interfering with emergency communications, was given no bond. Opal Dawn Roop was arrested for felony probation violation, was given a $10,000 secure bond. Jonathan Dwayne Parker, arrested on possession of a firearm by a felon, was given a $15,000 secure bond. Tony Lee Hudson was arrested for driving on license revoked, operate a vehicle with no insurance, and drive left to center, was given a $500 secure bond. Kristen Danielle Edwards was arrested for failure to comply, was given an other bond. Donnie Kenneth Self Jr. Was arrested for uttering a forged instrument, was given a $5,000 secure bond. Amanda Blake Smith was arrested for misdemeanor death by vehicle, drive left to center, and allow fictitious registration plate, given a $12,000 secure bond, or unsecured bond. And Christian Matthew Garrett was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor and was given a $1,000 secure bond. That's all I got for you.
Deputy Lynn, thank you so very much for that report, and you have a good weekend. Be safe out there.
Thank you, sir. You too.
All right, bye-bye. Well, downtown Forest City, there's a store called Anchor Down, right across from Carolina Chiropractic, and they're having an August store-wide sale right now. It's been going on now for several days, and you should get in on this. Everything is 50% off. Everything's 50% off. They have furniture, they have clothes, and some of these clothes name brand from birth to plus sizes. They also have men's clothes. They have dishes, they have tapes, electronics. You'll be amazed what's in that store. I went in there not too long ago, and I could not believe how much they've got. Everything you need for home and much more. Come see them at 155 West Main Street, Forest City, on the corner of Main Street and Young Street in downtown Forest City. Everything there is 50% off during this sale during August. Right across from Carolina Chiropractic there in Forest City. Here's Marie now. Marie has a report for us from 911 Communications Center. Marie, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Okay, in the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 471 911 administrative calls, which consisted of 42 for EMS, 22 for rescue. For law enforcement, the Sheriff's Department had 197, Forest City had 93, Lake Lure had 2, Rutherford had 50, Spindale had 41. For fire calls, Rutherford responded to a structure fire assisted by Green Hill, Union Mills, and Spindale. Hudlow responded to a residential fire alarm, and SDL responded to a motor vehicle accident. And that's all I have for the morning.
Thanks, Maria. Hope you have a great day over there.
Thank you, too.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Danieltown SDO, Shallow, Danieltown Oakland Fire District is up next, and Ruby Taylor gives us a report from there. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday counter, I've got Rick Green, Sonny Cole Jr., and Becky Elliott having birthday today, and hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, John Fulton, Heather Dobbins, and Rachel Welburn having birthdays tomorrow, and Mr. and Miss David Cordell is having an anniversary, and hope all these people have a nice day. Sunday, Carolyn Cantrell and Katie Glover is having birthday, and hope they have a nice day. The signs are in the boughs today and tomorrow, and going to the rains on Sunday. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale has hundreds of super low prices on most of your favorite name brand items. They have 500 plus prices lowered across the entire store. Stock up on fresh meats, produce, frozen foods, snack foods, and your favorite beverages and pastries. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 9, Sunday, 10 to 8. Save-A-Lot Grocery, White Oak Plaza, Spindale.
At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. All right, let's head up toward Rumbling Ball now. We have a report from up on top of the mountain. Here's Homer to give us that news. Good morning, Homer.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing good. How about y'all?
Doing pretty good. Did you have another storm go through yesterday?
No.
Okay, but you had enough the day before, I guess, huh?
Day before, we had a pretty good storm. Had a lot of rain, a lot of hail up here. Yesterday, apparently, there was a little storm come through Rutherford or wherever, but absolutely nothing come through the Lake Lure Bills Creek area, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's good. That's good.
I guess that's what you call hit and miss.
Yes, that's right. Well, what else is going on up there?
Kind of quiet right now on this Friday morning. Got kind of an overcast, kind of hazy-looking sky. It was actually drizzling, raining this morning. It was raining on my way to work. I think we got a little rain to contend with today. Temperatures, as usual, been on the mild side. 70 degrees midnight. Currently at 69. Hadn't moved a lot. We do have a couple of weddings this weekend. One Friday, one Saturday. No dinners or yard sales or anything like that to announce. We're still been pretty steady here at Rumbling Ball with a pretty good capacity staying here. Golf, swimming. We're still in full swing. Just reminding everybody we're having the Olympiad next weekend throughout the Lake Lure, Bills Creek, Rumbling Ball area. Goes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next weekend. Still been getting numerous bear sightings as usual. Looks like we're getting more than normal. I'm not sure why, but we've been getting quite a few reports. Other than that, not a lot going on here. Like I said, we're still busy here, and things has been going pretty good this year here.
Well, the bears like you up there, and they like all that good food that's available, so they come into Rumbling Ball to spend some time, too, like the guests are.
Oh, the other day, right across from security, which I'm looking at, is the administration building.
Yeah.
A bear walked right up the front steps in the broad daylight at the administration building, walked to the front door. I've never seen that. We've got pictures of it. Bear walked to the front door like it was going inside.
Trying to register, trying to check in.
I mean, we've got it on picture. I've never seen the bear go up to a building like that and trying to get in the door.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
They're pretty popular right now up here.
Yeah, I bet so. Well,
Yep.
listen, stay out of the way of them, and you have to be safe up there, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Homer.
it.
Bye-bye. That's Homer reporting from Rumbling Bowl this morning with the Bears, 27 past 7. You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Has a celebrity ever persuaded you to buy something or invest in something? I don't think so. Like the ad said, I'd rather do business with home folks that I know and trust and have confidence in, like the folks there at Farm Bureau. 28 now past 7 o'clock. Here's Bob Hodge. He's reporting from the Hudlow Fire District this morning. Bob, good morning.
Well, good Friday morning.
It finally is Friday, friend.
Finally, it's Friday there.
And we have 5 of them this month.
Yeah. We got cloudy skies up here this morning, but hadn't had any rain so far, so look like, according to the weather map, we might have a pretty good chance of some showers today, but don't look like it's going to be maybe a washout or nothing, so just carry your umbrella with you, I guess.
That's a good idea. Somebody got some rain last night because it was dark clouds all around us last night, but it never did rain at my house. I heard some thunder, saw some lightning, but it was dark over like towards Shelby and Cliffside area and through there. So somebody must have gotten some rain.
Somebody must, because I went out before dark there, and it was awful dark, cloudy back towards Ellenburn, down towards Shelby that way there. So
yeah,
look. Somebody down that way got some rain last night. Well, Jim, up here with the fire department, we answered one fire alarm call, and then we've had a couple of medical calls, and that's about it so far with the fire department. And things are running along pretty quiet up here this morning. Maybe it'll stay that way, and Jim, I hope you have a good weekend.
Thanks very much, Bob. You too. You and Aberdeen have a good one, too, and keep us posted. We'll check back in with you next time.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, the Asheville Police Department are asking for help in helping find a missing woman. Authorities say they don't know when Gina Ann Waltonowski, 26, was last seen. Her last known address was on North Ann Street in Asheville. She's a white woman, 5'3", with brown hair and brown eyes. She has a tattoo of a rose on her neck and another of 3 hearts on her hand. Police say she's known to use drugs and may need assistance. Anyone with any information, if you see somebody who fits this description of Gina Ann Waltonowski, I guess it is, ask to call the local officials and help them get there. And again, she's white, 5 feet 3 inches tall, brown hair, brown eyes. She has a tattoo of a rose on her neck and another of 3 hearts on her hand. And she's missing, and the Asheville Police would like your help in keeping your eyes open for someone that looks like her.
Southern Carpet is the showplace for your floor covering needs. For example, life-proof luxury vinyl plank and tile, waterproof, pet, and kid-friendly. Southern Carpet has all grades of carpet in stock for your home or apartment. Names like Shaw, Dreamweaver, Mohawk, Tarkett, IVC, and so much more. It's a showplace of quality carpet and floor covering. For the best selection in town, depend on Southern Carpet and get great installation prices. Come see Clayton or Jeff for your flooring needs. They'll floor you. 1512 West Main Street in Forest City and on the web at southerncarpet.net.
And we're stopping now over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District, and Sue Price keeps her eye on things for us over there and reports to us. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
Hope you're feeling well today.
I am.
Good.
Looks like it's going to be a good day. It's cloudy over here. I don't know. We haven't had any rain out of any of the storms this week, so.
Your time's coming.
It's coming, I guess. Looks like we have a good chance over the weekend, too. But we take what comes. It was awful dark and cloudy and windy, but we didn't ever get any rain. I've got 68 degrees this morning. Didn't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays on my church calendar. The only birthday I have on my calendars is for Butch Cook. So we hope Butch will have a good day today. And in my announcements, I guess this is actually the last night of the Bible school at Fairview. Tomorrow night is family night, so I'm sure they'll have a good turnout for that. And that seems to be all the announcements I have. It's just very quiet over this way, Jim, and looking for a good weekend, and I hope you and Faye have one.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy yourself as well, and we'll hope Butch Cook sings his own happy birthday tune. He could do that, couldn't he?
He could.
Have a good weekend, Sue.
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay prepared for those cookouts with plenty of propane. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply has refill propane 20-pound tanks, only $10.99. The price on Value Pack 18.8 dog food, $13.99. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply can beat their prices on fertilizer. Check this out, 17-17-17 fertilizer, just $13.45 for 50 pounds. Check on the farm equipment at special prices and fish mocks, 100 count, $15.99. Plenty of kills all, specially priced. It's all at your friendly Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply, 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherfordton.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Is it time to replace your doors and windows, or do you have a new construction project coming up? Let David Allen at Henson Building Materials help you with your projects. With over 50 years of experience in the construction field, David can help you plan your project, price out the materials, and help you find the best products available. Let David show you our new showroom where your vision becomes a reality before the first nail goes in. We're Henson Building Materials. Remember, we're more than just a lumber yard.
He knows his stuff, David Allen does. Contact him. It's 7:35 and we're going up to UMNC, Union Mills, North Carolina. And here's BK. Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Jim Bishop?
I'm crazy as a loon.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Well, it's Friday. Yeah. I should be happy today, right?
Well, you are happy, aren't you?
I am happy.
That's right. Just happy as a lark.
I'll feel better all over than anywhere else.
There you go. But we hope everybody's having a good day. It's hot and mucky today. Ooh, muggy or whatever.
It is, really is.
Yeah. I've got 66 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays and anniversaries today. We got George Painter and Emery Smith an anniversary. And Billy and Terry Honeycutt. No, let me start all over. George Painter and Emery Smith a birthday. Billy and Terry Honeycutt an anniversary. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on Round Hill, and in ways of announcements, Polk County Line will be playing at the Learning Center this afternoon. And then Britain Presbyterian Church on August the 4th will be celebrating 251 years. Pat Tracy will be catering. Lunch will be served at the manse. And I want to announce this. This is in the future, but everybody needs to get ready for this. Nanny Clan Reunion, Sunday, August 18th, 12:30 p.m., Round Hill Baptist Church Fellowship Hall, Union Mills, NC. Covered dish luncheon, business and history program. After lunch, Wade and Annie will be presenting a brief account of the family history from the later Roman times to present. Anyone interested in the Nanny family ancestry is welcome to attend. And I think that's all I got going on that I know of.
All right, but you're looking forward to a quiet weekend, I guess?
Yes, I am, and I'm going to be going to the beach next weekend.
Are you really?
Yeah. It's just a weekend thing. I'll do the report on Friday, but I won't do it on Saturday because I won't be here.
Okay. Going to Myrtle
I'm
Beach?
leaving. Huh?
Going to Myrtle Beach?
Oak Island.
Oak Island, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people. Go ahead.
My daughter-in-law's mother lives down there, so I can go and stay.
Yeah, good. I've heard a lot of people talk about that island. It's really nice, I understand.
It's pretty, yeah, but I know there was two people on the news. One drowned where it broke his neck, and another broke his neck and survived from the water. But I'm not going to get in the water. I ain't never liked the ocean water.
Really?
Never. No, I don't like it.
You're not going to put your bikini on and go out in the water?
No, I sure ain't. You can forget that. I call them knee knockers. When I was going to school, they were called deck pants, and then they became pedal pushers. Then people called them knee knockers. Now they're capris. So I'll be wearing that, and I might stick my toe in it. But no, I'm not getting in. To me, it's dirty. It's nasty.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah,
They'll
so
I'm
not gonna be playing in no water. You can forget that.
Do you go look for seashells on the
Yeah,
reef?
I love to look for seashells and sand dollars and things like that.
I like to chase the little birds that land on the sand there.
I like to feed them.
Yeah, they'll come to you.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so you leaving Saturday and coming back?
No, I'm leaving Friday as soon as I
coming
get
back.
through with the morning report. Yeah.
Well, that'll be great. So we'll make a lot of pictures.
Well, my daughter might. I won't. My daughter's. I'm going with my daughter, and we're going. Then we're going to hook up with my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter, and we'll be leaving. It don't take but about 4 hours to get down there.
That's about right. Yeah. There's always plenty to get fresh seafood to eat when you go to the beach, though. That's my favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. I went to the beach one time. Do they still have those big waves that come rolling in on the? Do they still have those at the beach?
Apparently, because there's a lot of people drowning from them.
That's right. It has been dangerous. I've hear of people doing that and getting bit by sharks and.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
Been a crazy year at the beach.
I don't want no part of getting out there, and no, they can have it.
Yeah, I think my days of playing in the ocean water is over too. Used to love to do it, but I think my days are over.
I had never liked to play in the ocean water. Never.
You used to love to.
No, I ain't never. Been to a lot of them, but I don't like to play in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to talk to you before you go, so you have a great weekend.
Yeah. Okay, you too, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have the proven record of the best deal. It's your place to shop for your truck. Get a good look at the selection of SUVs, Escapes, Edge, and Explorers. Sisk Family Ford can put you in the family car or truck of your choice any day you want to make a change. Try one on for a ride. Make your next deal a Sisk Family Ford deal. Shop local and get your best agreement for the next automobile. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Summer's here and the time is right to head to the Recliner Center. Now you're going to be spending more and more time outdoors, cutting grass, working in the garden, playing with the kids and the grandkids, and that can take a toll on your back. The secret to relaxing? The Recliner Center and Spring Air Mattresses. A mattress that is dedicated to giving you the best in quality, comfort, and support. Now the Recliner Center also has lift chairs. The amazing thing about some of these chairs is that they can lie completely flat. And many of you who have health issues, well, you can get your feet above your head. Let's walk around the rest of the store. Sofas, love seats, rocker recliners, and you can choose from small recliners to the really big boy sizes. A refreshing morning awaits you after sleeping on a Spring Air mattress. Comfort and sitting and standing safety awaits you with a lift chair. And why not just jazz up the family room with a new sofa, love seat, and a recliner? All this in family owned and operated. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton, and their hours are Wednesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to 2.
You can enjoy more summer specials at the drop-in stores. Now 20-ounce Dasani water is only 99 cents. 28-ounce Powerade, 2 for $2. Save $1.50 on 2 large Powerades. The pizza special you've been waiting on is back for a limited time in August. That's a Hunt Brothers Chicken Bacon Ranch Pizza. Get it by the hunk or by the whole pizza. And remember, all Hunt Brothers whole pizzas are EBT eligible. When in Boston, don't forget to sign up for free Filet Fridays. Every week, the drop-in Family Mart gives away 2 filet steaks, 2 bacon potatoes, and a bag salad to one lucky customer. Come inside and ask for details at the drop-in there in Boston. It's quick and easy to sign up. This month, sausage biscuit regular $1.99, now 2 for $3. Get all this and more at your favorite drop-in. Come on, drop in. Now we're going over to Ellenboro, and Luther Gilligan is on the phone this morning to talk with us and give us the news from the fire district. Luther, top of the day to you, sir.
Rest of the day to you, mate.
You ready?
Good time down here this morning.
You ready for the weekend?
I am ready for the weekend, getting wound up, getting geared up for it and all that.
Good.
Don't know what I'll do, but I'm going to have a good time.
Good.
I'm going to have a good time today. But it's quiet here this morning. Nothing going on. Everybody just sitting back and having a cup of coffee. Most people trying to get on into work, get this last day done where they can get started on their weekend. Some of them probably already started. Well, I know 2 took the day off. They're going camping. One of them going fishing. So they're already on their weekend. But I'm looking forward to finding see what happens. Let's see, fire department, they had 1 medical call, had 1 tree down. Other than that, they're quiet. They're quiet this morning. Nothing going over there. Just nothing happening. No excitement at all back here this morning. Everything quiet, peaceful. Nothing else happening. So you have a great day up there. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
I appreciate it, Luther. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
All right, bye. Well, it's birthday time for this second day of August, August the 2nd. So if you're celebrating a birthday or anniversary on this August the 2nd, call us now and we'll celebrate with you and give you a chance to win some of those delicious De La Donuts from Granny B's. 287-3356 is the phone number. 287-3356. More than 1 million Americans have heart attacks each year, and if you or a loved one experiences symptoms of heart attack, every second matters. Heart attack symptoms include discomfort, heaviness, or pain in the chest, arm, or below the breastbone. You may also experience sweating, nausea, dizziness, weakness, anxiety, or shortness of breath. At the first sign of a heart attack, you should call 911 and be treated immediately at the nearest hospital. The best time to treat a heart attack is within 1 to 2 hours of the first onset of symptoms. That's why the Emergency Department at Rutherford Regional Health System has become a chest pain accredited facility. That means quality care here at home that could save precious seconds when treating the symptoms of heart attack. To learn more about Rutherford Regional and its commitment to save quality care, visit myrutherfordregional.com.
When you call a pest control company, you want to make sure they have honest and dependable experience. Hutchins Pest Control has all those qualities and more. 45 years experience in pest control service, now including moisture control, waterproofing, mold remediation, dehumidification, and more. Get rid of mice, rats, wildlife, fire ants, bed bugs, and termites. Call today for residential and commercial service. 287-5171. Voted best of best for 9 years. That's Hutchins Pest Control.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Happy birthday.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to the Birthday Club. And if you happen to be the lucky winner this morning, you get yourself some delicious donuts from Granny B's. Let's see who's celebrating. George Painter's having a birthday. And Billy and Terry Honeycutt celebrating an anniversary. And Emery Smith also is on the birthday list from the calendar this morning. Todd's giving me another list. Mallory Gilmer is 2 down in Caroline. Tanisha Hamilton is 15, a 9th grader at East High School. Gloria Whiteside over at Rutherford having a birthday. Trevor Coldren, 9th grader at Reach. And Boyce Morgan up in Union Mills. All these folks wishing you happy, happy birthday. And all those that were called in will be in the drawing for the delicious donuts. We'll see who that is in just a moment.
Les Brown, an emergency med tech in San Jose, California, was driving home from work when he heard an emergency of a baby choking. He was near the location, so he radioed that he would also respond. He pulled off the freeway, only to discover that the road was blocked by a large trench that had been dug that day. He ran up and explained the situation to the young man who had spent most of the day shaping the trench with his bulldozer. The machine operator quickly pushed dirt into the newly sculptured trench, drove across it once to pack it down, and waved Les on through. When Les arrived at the scene, the baby had already started to turn blue. He took the baby from the frantic mom, placed him over his knee, and popped him on the back. Out flew a button, and the child started to breathe freely again. The next day, Les decided to get off at the same exit and thanked the young operator for helping the story to have a happy ending. When he pulled up to the site, the young man saw him, leaped off the tractor, and came running toward the car, yelling the entire distance. When Les was finally able to understand him, he heard him say, "That baby you saved yesterday, that was my baby. Mine, mine." How tragic this story might have been had a young man not been willing to get involved. He didn't perform the rescue, but he helped pave the way for someone who could. It took both of them to do the job. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And the drum roll is for Tanisha Hamilton, 15 years old. She's a 9th grader at East Rutherford. She's won herself some Daylight Donuts this morning. Tanisha, congratulations. We'll have that certificate over here at WCAB. Stop by and pick those up and take them over to Granny B's, and I know you will enjoy those delicious Daylight Donuts. Tanisha Hamilton, our winner this morning. Well, it's 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. Coming up at 8:05 this morning, my interview with Congressman Patrick McHenry will be aired. We interviewed him, I believe it's Thursday. And we're playing it back this morning, so hopefully some of the questions I ask him will be some of the questions you'd want to know. So we hope to give you that. About 8:05 this morning, we'll have that interview with Congressman Patrick McHenry. Meanwhile, up until 8 o'clock, we're going to entertain you and with some great music from the classic oldies slot. All that's right here now.
Water.
Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. Well, you can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place, and do anything that you wanna do. But honey, lay off of my shoes and don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. Oh, let's go, cat. My house, steal my car, you drink my liquor from my old fruit jar, and do anything that you wanna do. But honey, lay off of them shoes and don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. Right. For the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe. Well, it's blue, blue suede shoe. Blue, blue suede shoe. Yeah, blue suede shoe, baby. Blue suede shoe. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoe.
Oh, when the sun goes down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. In the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs, French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
to dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to be better far than you are, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to give when there's no more to give, to be willing to die so that honor and justice may live. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and covered with scars still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. China threatening this morning to hit back if President Trump carries through on a promise to raise tariffs of 10% on about $300 billion worth of imports. Here's ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
This is the tit for tat that Wall Street was worried about with a trade war from the very beginning. Now every single Chinese good that comes to the U.S. is going to be subject to a tariff. And in real terms, those are things that people use: toys, clothes, shoes, electronics. And that's why you saw the stocks of retailers like Target and Nike and Best Buy. They were hit especially hard. These businesses either have to eat those costs or pass them off to the consumer.
New numbers on employment due out in about a half an hour. Economists think that they will show 150,000 jobs were created last month. And with unemployment still at just 3.7%, ABC's Daria Albinger says,
looking for work? The National Association for Business Economics says it's still very much a job hunter's market,
especially if you're looking for a highly skilled position.
About 9 out of 10 firms report filling a high-skilled job is really difficult right now.
NABE's Frank Notheft on what employers are doing to try and fill those jobs.
Raising wages is certainly one way, but also looking to train employees and promote from within.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
North Korea firing off more short-range missiles overnight. It's the country's third missile test in just over a week. The granddaughter of Robert Kennedy found dead in the Kennedy compound on Cape Cod. Saoirse Kennedy Hill was 22. ABC's Whit Johnson.
First responders finding Hill in the same home where her grandmother lives. The exact cause of death still under investigation. Hill is the daughter of Courtney Kennedy Hill, RFK and Ethel Kennedy's fifth child. The Kennedy family saying in a statement, "Our hearts are shattered by the loss of our beloved Saoirse. Her life was filled with hope, promise, and love."
In Puerto Rico, still questions about who will replace the next governor. You're listening to ABC News.
There's nothing like meeting face-to-face, and there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen. Zoom lets you connect and do business across town or around the world. Zoom ties together all of your communication needs into one easy platform for video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere, your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet happy with Zoom.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today's the end of an arms control treaty worked out when President Reagan was in office. ABC's Karen Travers is at the White House.
The U.S. will withdraw from a landmark Cold War arms control pact 6 months after the Trump administration declared Russia was violating the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or INF. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said in a statement Friday, quote, "Russia is solely responsible for the treaty's demise. Russia has denied being in violation." Without this agreement, signed by President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, experts fear there will be a new nuclear arms race. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A couple of dangerous prison escapees have been caught in Arkansas.
Christopher Sanderson and Wesley Gullett walked away from the Jefferson County, Arkansas lockup earlier in the week using rolled-up blankets to make it appear they were in their bunks. Yesterday in Polk County, more than 100 miles away, Gullett was spotted walking alongside a road.
Dispatch, can you have an incoming unit get some water down here for this subject? City hasn't had anything to drink in a couple of days.
Within hours, Gullett's fellow escapee, Christopher Sanderson, was captured as well. Both had been considered potentially dangerous. Neither put up a fight. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Ed Sheeran's about to sing his way to the record books. The group Polestar says Sheeran's current tour will set the all-time money record with tonight's show in Germany, grossing nearly $737 million. This is ABC News.
Did you know that the IRS is getting more aggressive these days? They're using private agencies to track you down. Don't wait. If you owe more than $10,000, take advantage of the Fresh Start Initiative, a program in place that can help you now. You can save thousands and possibly have your taxes forgiven. There's help for those of you who owe $10,000 or more, but it's important that you take action before these programs change. Call the tax experts at Oxford Tax Partners for a free consultation now at 800-575-1919. That's 800-575-1919.
A stalled frontal boundary keeps rain chances in the area for the next several days. We'll have cloudy skies today. High temperatures will stay in the middle 80s with scattered showers and thunderstorms and some pockets of heavy rain later on today. A few storms linger into the overnight hours. Temperatures tonight get down into the upper 60s. Mostly cloudy Saturday with some late day showers and thunderstorms and high temperatures in the mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
It is real pleasant right now. If we could just bank this temperature and these conditions right now for a while, it'd be nice. It is a little stuffy out there, but it's 69, and we're warming up to about 82, and we have a real big chance of rain today, about 70% after a while, maybe a noonish, a little afternoon, and even into tonight we may have some pop-up showers as well. Cloudy skies, it's sort of happened every day this week so far. Dark clouds last night hovered around for an hour or so, but we did not get any rain. I have not found anyone yet who got any rain last night. Maybe it's all over in the Shelby area. I don't know where it was, but we have potential of rain every day all the way through Tuesday. And then it starts leveling off a little bit by Monday, 40%, Tuesday, 20% chance of rain. Congratulations to Tanisha Hamilton. Tanisha is a ninth grader. She's 15 years old, lives in, I'm not sure where, but she goes to East Rutherford, and she won the donuts this morning. Compliments of Granny Beach. Tanisha Hamilton, our birthday winner this morning with the donuts. 6 minutes after 8, and coming up later today, we have Braves and the Reds, 6:05 airtime. We'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6. The Braves today with the Reds, again tomorrow, and again on Sunday with the Reds. So a series there. And last night, of course, you may have heard the Owls lost to the Copperheads last night, 8-7. Good close game, but they just couldn't quite pull it out. Well, I've been mentioning that I interviewed Congressman Patrick McHenry a couple of days ago, and we want to air that interview right now. Here is the interview. I'm happy to have Congressman Patrick McHenry in the studio with us today. Found some time to drop by and talk with us, to ask him questions that I know you would ask him if you were face-to-face with him. So since you're not, I'll ask those questions I feel like you want to know. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me back.
Let's talk about some issues and some things that I know cross your desk quite a bit and things you're dealing with. What can you tell us about the continuing saga with the Mueller report and the Democrats fishing for impeachment situations?
Well, look, I don't think the Mueller testimony changed anything. And so, if you wanted, if you're a Democrat activist, you want to impeach President Trump, it changed nothing. And if you believe the president hasn't done anything to warrant impeachment, it changes nothing. And so I think what the outcome of this is that elections have consequences and the rule of law matters. And there was no collusion, and there was no obstruction of justice. And so, which is the conclusion of the Mueller report. And so just because a fellow testifies before a congressional committee doesn't change the facts of the case. And so that's where things stand. And if you're if you have a partisan response to that, then it is what it is.
What is the latest in the mind of Speaker Pelosi in terms of impeachment?
So she still says no to impeachment, but a majority of the Democrats in the House now are publicly in favor of impeachment. At the same week that we had the Mueller report, we had a vote on the House floor because someone filed articles of impeachment on the House floor, and we had a vote. 95 Democrats voted for that. So not a majority of the Democrats in the House, but so it shows that they are really focused on the president's actions and behavior, not the policies, not the implications for the economy, and just focus on trying to undo the presidential election that they lost in 2016. It's a very frustrating thing, and I think we should be focused on policy, not on these sideline projects.
Are you able to get much done with all that carnival effect going around?
Well, that's what I try to do is get policy wins and things through the whole process. So far this year, I've been able to get 3 bills signed into law, and one reauthorizes the Blue Ridge National Heritage Area, which is important for us protecting the lands around the Blue Ridge Parkway, as well as getting the Land and Water Conservation Trust permanently reauthorized. And then I've got a bill that gives us better access to our own data that the IRS has on us. And so those bills got signed into law by the president, and we're still able to get some things done, even if people are so fixed on these bigger partisan, the bigger bit of partisan warfare in Washington.
How much influence does the squad have with the other members of Congress?
Not much. They do have an outsized impact in terms of media and social media, but these young, they call themselves socialists, but they're even further to the left than that. But those new members of Congress that are espousing these Marxist ideas still have a significant amount of sway in terms of the political debate. They don't have serious policy wins because that's not what they focus on. It's much more about just the fight in the media and social media and the attention they garner from that, which is a sideline to actual real policy making.
Do you think the Speaker will be able to rein in those 4 radical members?
No chance. I think they get their power and their value out of the response via social media. And so the more attention they get, the more powerful they believe that they are. The reality of how the House works is that is a separate issue from actually making policy, and they have yet to make serious policy.
Is all the socialist agenda affecting the president any?
A little bit. I think it really clarifies the choice because, you know, we were talking 5 years ago about low growth for the foreseeable future, and we were not going to be able to see real wage gains, and that high unemployment was going to just be the new normal. And, you know, the president gets elected, and we have had a much, much stronger economy because of his regulatory relief, the tax reform that we've been able to pass into law, and the actions he's taken to clip the wings of Dodd-Frank so that banks can get back to the business of lending and helping grow the economy, and just right-size the regulation set out of Washington. So Donald Trump, President Trump has gotten great results, and the great results bear out in the economy. And what this group of socialists want to do, these folks that are far left, is undo all that regulatory relief, undo all that tax policy relief, which is going to kill our economy.
I want to get to a little more serious questions. What are the best indicators that our economic health in our country has improved?
Wage growth and unemployment. So if you see the wage growth in our economy coming through, folks that are the national statistics bear out what we're seeing locally, which is wages are rising. And the wages are rising in real terms for the first time in over 10 years across this country. That's a great thing. Unemployment is at record lows. This is the lowest unemployment since 1969 nationally. And we see that result across Western North Carolina in terms of unemployment. So I think those two statistics are really powerful and show the impact of tax reform, regulatory reform, and a belief in the strength of America. Because we now have a president that's fighting for us for trade policy and delivering results for us on trade policy and taking the real fight to China to make sure that we get this thing right, our relationship with China, for the next 10, 20 years. And we're in the middle of that fight, yet we still have economic growth, low unemployment, and wages rising. So those are strong indicators, even though we still have trade policy to get through.
The Fed's just announced today they're dropping interest rates by 1/4 point. How is that going to affect us?
I think that's positive. What we don't want to do is constrain the money supply. When you constrain the money supply, you effectively make the cost of things go up. The cost of lending, the cost of borrowing, and that restrains the economy. And so this is, I think, a useful sign that they see the softening of the economy globally and how that impacts us here in the United States. And we don't want to follow the globe. We want to still be a strong economy, regardless of what happens in Europe or China.
How do you feel about more tariffs on countries that won't pay their fair share or don't want to play fair?
Well, look, trade policy is we've seen it differently than the rest of than a lot of the country, because we saw the loss of jobs to Mexico and then to Asia and China. And so this president is fighting the fight when it comes to China. I support his trade agenda because he's trying to defend us and make us strong, not for the next quarter or the next couple of weeks or months or whatever, but for the long term. China's gotten the greatest deal economically anywhere in the globe. They are treated as a third world country, even though they don't perform like a third world country. So their environmental regulation, their trade relationships, they get this huge advantage over Europe and the United States. And so President Trump's fighting the fight for us, and I think that's a good thing. We need to pass USMCA, which is his renegotiated NAFTA deal, and make sure that American workers get a better deal than what NAFTA was. And I think Congress needs to vote on that, and I think we've got to approve that and get it signed into law.
Should there be a citizenship question on the census?
Look, I know that's litigated. I think it's a fine thing to ask. I think it's a reasonable thing to ask, and I think it's something that we have other folks that do public opinion surveys and try to measure what's happening among the populace of the United States, and they have estimates on those that are here legally or illegally. We don't have a solid number, though, which is absurd. We're the strongest economy in the world. We're the biggest economy on the globe, and we have a sophisticated society and economy. Yet we don't know who's here illegally. It's an absurd thing that we don't even know that for certain. So we have this range. How many illegals are here? You hear a range from 10 million to 20 million, right? And so people agree that somewhere between 12 to 15 million. That's a huge range. You're talking, and there's no certainty on this. So I think to understand who's here, how they got here, I think is a reasonable thing. So we can actually then focus on policy around border security and how we enforce our laws, as any country should.
Where are we in building that wall, and should we build the wall?
I think we should build a wall, and I think we need real border security to go along with it, and a change process by which people come here legally. And right now we have a humanitarian crisis at the border because we don't have real border security. And we treat people from Mexico and Canada differently than we treat people from Costa Rica or Nicaragua or anywhere else south of us. So if you present yourself at the border and you say you're Mexican, you're treated differently than if you say you're from some other country. What we need to do is fix that problem and treat our neighbors to the south as if they're Mexicans or Canadians, which means they're not threatened by a regime that is a totalitarian regime that's taking their freedoms away. These countries are democratically elected, with the exception of what's happening right now in Venezuela, and so we should treat them equally on the southern border and on the northern border, and so we've got to fix that provision of law and have a border wall. We're so far about $3 billion into border wall construction, which is a down payment that we were able to get passed into law when Republicans are in charge of the House and the Senate. It's going to be hard to get those monies going forward because of a Democrat-controlled House.
If illegal immigrants win amnesty, how is that fair to the 4.5 million who are willing to enter our country legally?
Well, it's not fair, and you have folks that are coming that seek to come here illegally, and yet they're put behind the line from those that are coming here illegally. And so I think we need to have fair and legal immigration that meets our national interests. And so rather than have basically a lottery situation, we should have a merit situation for people to come here to the United States. We're a welcoming country. We just ask you to do it legally. And we have that humanitarian crisis we're facing at the southern border because we're not enforcing our laws, and the people that seek to come here illegally know those rules and regulations and are trying to get around them. And so I think we've got to fix this problem without amnesty, but we've got to fix this problem for the long term.
There's some movement in Congress now by some of the more radical members about harming and delegitimizing the state of Israel. What is your position on that?
I'm against that. This BDS movement, which is about boycotting or divesting investments from Israel, is seeking to do Israel harm in the name of something that is not anti-Semitic, but is motivated by anti-Semitism. So the BDS movement is seeking to choke off economic growth and investment from Israel. And if the Israeli economy cannot grow, then they cannot fund their national security. If they cannot fund their national security, they're going to be rolled into the sea by all their neighbors. And I think this is a situation where Americans need to stand strong and united with our most sacred ally in the Middle East, Israel. We have folks that are arguing that because you have a conservative government in Israel and that there are liberals here in the United States, that it is okay to target them through the BDS movement. based off ideology. I think that's absurd. When the Israelis had a liberal government, I supported them. When they've had a conservative government, I support them. When you're an ally, regardless of electoral change, you have to stand strong with your allies. And this is what happened with our relationship with Great Britain over the last 100 years, regardless of the movements of domestic politics in the United States or in Great Britain. We've stood strong, and the world is safer and stronger because of it. We have that same sacred and special relationship over the last 50 years with the State of Israel. We need to maintain it, strengthen it, and enhance it.
Let me move away from that just a moment to another question that a lot of people have been asking. Do you believe the president is racist?
No.
Okay. During your visits around the town meetings, visiting your district, what are your constituents asking you?
Well, so I've had town meetings, Rutherford County and Buncombe County to begin. Then I'll have others in Cleveland and Catawba County this week, and keep rolling through the district thereafter. But the big issues are around national security, and that becomes a flashpoint in and of itself. We have those that are left of center are angry about anything the president says, does, or tweets. And so to answer for the president's tweets, well, let's face it, he's been quite active on Twitter, and nothing I can say will change anybody's view. You either like it or you don't. And I question whether or not the president should tweet so much. And now I look at this and say, well, he's getting around the national media, and the national media has to respond to his tweets. I think it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful tool, and he's using it in the way that he sees fit, dictating the terms of debate politically. And so we've had a bunch of questions about tweets. What we haven't had questions about, though, are the economy lagging, about unemployment, about all these issues that have been of primary concern for the last decade. Because we have a roaring economy, people are benefiting from economic growth, and these political debates are just as polarized now as they were 5 years ago. It's just they're on hyper speed because of social media and that social media interaction.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very poor, 10 being excellent, how would you rate President Trump?
9. There you go on.
Yeah, no.
So if you look at the appointments to the courts, two nominations to the U.S. Supreme Court, very fine, lasting in import. The number of judges that the president has appointed to appellate and district court federal judgeships, those things will have generational impact, substantial. His regulatory relief, fantastic. Tax reform, fantastic. We failed on health care, on delivery on health care, on repealing and replacing Obamacare. We still have work to do. We have other things that are yet to be completed, like trade policy in the fight with China on resetting trade policy. And so there's still work to be done. We have other issues of how you actually help people in this new economy compete and get better jobs and grow wages. And those are the longer term issues we're going to have to work through. And then we still have other work around enhancing technology and our use of technology and making it more available to people, and so that they can have new careers and new economic opportunities. So we've got a lot of work to be done, but I think we're off to a very good start. Economic progress is clear as well.
Congressman McHenry, thank you for your time today. We always appreciate you taking the time to come by the radio station for a one-on-one. Let me mention our list to our listeners that the Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a lunch and learn with the Congressman August 7th at noon at Copper Penny Grill in Rutherfordton. Congressman will be given an update on issues of interest that impact the citizens of our district. It's a Dutch lunch and time to visit with the Congressman in a more relaxed setting. We hope he'll come out and meet the Congressman face-to-face. We appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
Look forward to seeing you next time. Here now is Deputy Lynn with our Sheriff's Report.
Last 24 hours, we've had 197 calls for service. There's been 17 arrests. Currently housed on 198 in the county jail. On incident reports, Tiffany Danielle Hauser reported assault on a female and interfering with emergency communications. Claude Kyle Smith Jr. reported breaking and entering, felony larceny, and damage to property. Samuel Charles Borsellino reported felony larceny. Crystal Luann Scruggs reported larceny of a motor vehicle. Teresa Yvonne Rodriguez reported breaking and entering, injury to real property, and felony larceny. Angela Margaret Perez reported larceny of a firearm. Robert Tallet Reinhardt reported breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering. Willie James Edney reported misdemeanor larceny. Amanda Rogers Green reported identity theft. And on arrest reports, Preston Prescott Laws was arrested for violation of a domestic violence protection order, assault on a female, and assault on a child under 12. Was given no bond, placed on domestic violence hold. Gregory Scott Hauser, arrested for assault on a female and interfering with emergency communications, was given no bond. Opal Dawn Roop was arrested for felony probation violation, was given a $10,000 secure bond. Jonathan Dwayne Parker, arrested on possession of a firearm by a felon, was given a $15,000 secure bond. Tony Lee Hudson was arrested for driving on a license revoked, operate a vehicle with no insurance, and drive left to center, was given a $500 secure bond. Kristen Danielle Edwards was arrested for failure to comply, was given an other bond. Donnie Kenneth Self Jr. Was arrested for uttering a forged instrument, was given a $5,000 secure bond. Amanda Blake Smith was arrested for misdemeanor death by vehicle, drive left to center, and allow fictitious registration plate, given a $12,000 secure bond, or unsecured bond. And Christian Matthew Garrett was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor and was given a $1,000 secure bond. That's all I got for you.
Salazar, who is making his first start for Cleveland in 2+ seasons. The win for the Astros puts them at 70-40 on the year. The Indians dropped to 63-45.
Major League Baseball handing down its suspensions from Tuesday's brawl between the Pirates and Reds in Cincinnati. In addition to the players being disciplined, Reds manager David Bell was ordered to sit out 6 games. Pirates skipper Clint Hurdle was penalized 2 games. Bell already had been ejected when he ran onto the field to get after Hurdle. All of the players involved have filed notice of appeal of their fines and suspensions. Tony.
A stalled frontal boundary keeps rain chances in the area for the next several days. We'll have cloudy skies today. High temperatures will stay in the middle 80s with scattered showers and thunderstorms and some pockets of heavy rain later on today. A few storms linger into the overnight hours. Temperatures tonight get down into the upper 60s. Mostly cloudy Saturday with some late day showers and thunderstorms and high temperatures in the mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Amy. We're up to 70 degrees already. We're warming up to 82 for the daytime high with some possibilities of showers. So keep your umbrella handy. Right now I see some sun trying to peek out there. It's going to be another great getting up morning here at the foothills. And we look forward to some rain coming, some sun, and some warm temperatures and cooling down period. All of the above. We got a Duke's mixture in weather these next few days. It's 8:30. This is WCAB serving the foothills of the Carolinas from 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning, and we'd like to welcome you this morning to our program. And my name is Robert Lowry. I'm an associate minister at the Word of Faith Fellowship Church, and I'm here this morning to share some of what God has shown me to be a blessing for you today. And I was going to start out with in Matthew chapter 7. And one of the things that God has really imparted in my heart is walking on that narrow road with Him requires, a obedient heart, submission to Him. And if you look in verse 13 of Matthew chapter 7, if you're out there this morning and you're using your Bible, turn to Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. And Jesus is speaking, and He said in this verse, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and spacious and broad is the way that leads away to destruction, and many are those who are entering through it. But the gate is narrow, contracted by pressure, and the way is straitened and compressed that leads away to life, and few are those who find it." Now up in verse 13, when He talked about the broad way, the wide gate, He said many are going through it. But when He talked about the narrow road, it says few are those who find it. This morning I just wanted to share with you some keys that God has put in my heart since I've been walking with the Lord on how to stay in that narrow way. Because there's pulls, there's opportunities out there that if you're aware or not, there's an enemy of ours is called Satan or the devil. He has a plan for your life that does not walk through a narrow road. He wants you to be on that wide road to destruction, because the Bible is clearly spoken out that He is judged already, and His time is already running short. So especially in the days we're living in now, He is doing everything He can to pull anybody He can away from the narrow road. And that narrow road, I looked it up a little bit in the original Greek language. This was all written in the times of the apostles in the Greek language in the New Testament. And that word narrow there comes from the word in the Greek stenos, stenegamos. And it means to groan. It means to give your whole heart and groan out to God. In other words, one of the keys to be able to walk with Jesus in these times is to have a life of prayer in your own heart, that where you pray out, groaning out to God, that you want His will and you want to walk in His way. You don't want the wide road to destruction. I don't know about you, but I lived 35 years before I found life through Jesus Christ. I lived 35 years on that wide road to destruction. And it was not good. And you think you're doing okay, but you're not. Jesus said clearly in the Bible that the devil is a liar. He makes things seem like and look like they're good when they're not. And the only way you can know if it's right is have the witness and the peace of God in your heart that what you're doing is bringing glory and honor to Jesus, who is the one who saved us through His death, burial, and resurrection. And I want to just give you another little something that said in that original language definition. That gate, that narrow gate, provides the entrance to eternal life. I don't know about you, but that's what I want. I want to have a life eternal. It's narrow because it runs counter to natural inclination. And it in other words, your natural man without God wants to go on that wide road. So it's for me and you, it's a fight to stay in God, to stay on that narrow road, trusting Him, relying on Him, obeying Him, submitting our heart to Him, that where we hear His voice and obey. And then in the verse 14 there, that word gate is narrow. It means to press in. In other words, it's like you feel closed in by the divine conditions. You know, it's like you got to stay with God. If you don't, it's easy to be pulled off track and to go the other way. And one of the things I found is because I had such a worldly way of living inside of me before I met Jesus Christ, and he came to me so supernaturally and changed my life overnight. And what I found was that I felt a love in my heart that I never had. Because I had to be doing what I did before I was a Christian. Gambling and taking people's money and bowling and doing all that type of thing. You had a hardened heart because you couldn't have feeling for anybody. Because they could be your next person you're going to take advantage of. So for me to have such an extreme change, the thing that overwhelmed me was I felt love, peace, the presence of God just changed me. And I never knew that was available. Of course, growing up, I didn't walk with the Lord, never went to church. So it was such a new place for me, and I really was so thankful for it. And God has, now I've walked more years with God than I did before. When I wasn't with God, I was 35. Now I'm 78. So I've got 43 years walking with Jesus. And I'm telling you, it's been a wonderful life. And I'm so thankful for it. But it says there on the divine condition, it makes it impossible for anyone to enter the narrow gate who thinks it depends on their self-merit or what they still incline towards sin or desires to continue in evil. There's nobody that's going to have that kind of heart working in them that's going to be able to walk on that narrow road. So the first thing you got to do is obey that, what it said in verse 13, as you begin to groan and pray and cry out to God that he changes your heart. When he comes inside of you, he will be the one from the inside to change you. And it's so miraculous what he does, because I can never forget how that when I first started, the first few days after he changed my life, I'm going from one extreme, being with gamblers and every other kind of thing. Now I'm stopping that. I'm going to walk with Jesus and obey him. And it was like, I thought, and my mind was telling me, this is a mistake because you don't know anything. And God would come and Jesus would come inside of me with that still small voice and just say to me very kindly, lovingly, you don't need to know. I do. Just do what I show you. Just say what I tell you. It's that simple. And so I would rest in that. I would go, okay, that's just so easy compared to what I've done all my life. And so that's what I did. I just depended on that. And so I was looking at this scriptures in Ephesians. And if you got your Bible, turn over here to Ephesians chapter 2. I want to read some verses to you that are so outstanding that may help you understand how important it is that he made it available for us to be on that narrow road. Starting in verse 1. And you he made alive when you were dead, slain by your trespasses and sins, in which at one time you walked habitually, like I did. You were following the course and fashion of this world, were under the sway of the tendency of the present age, following the prince of the power of the air. You were obedient to and under the control of the demon spirit that still constantly works in the sons of disobedience, the careless, the rebellious, the unbelieving, who go against the purposes of God. Verse 3, among these, we as well as you once lived. And I can say that way too. If I'm teaching out to you and listening today, I was once this way myself. You may be someone that's coming out of that in your own life today or living that way now. It's nobody's throwing a stone at anybody else. This is just the truth of God's word. And we as well once lived and conducted ourselves in the passions of our flesh. Our behavior governed by our corrupt, sensual nature, obeying the impulses of the flesh and the thoughts of the mind. Our cravings dictated by our senses and our dark imaginings. We were then by nature children of God's wrath and heirs of his indignation, like the rest of mankind. Now there's a good point right there why it's so vital for you and me to have a heart determined to be on that narrow road with God, because I don't want to be one who's out there living without God, walking in a way that the world is doing, because they're going to end up in destruction. I want eternal life. I hope you do too. Verse 4, but God, so rich is he in his mercy, because of and in order to satisfy the great and wonderful, intense love with which he loved us, even when we were dead, slain by our own shortcomings and trespasses, he made us alive together in fellowship and in union with Christ. He gave us the very life of Christ himself, the same new life with which he quickened him. See, Jesus was quickened with that new life. He died on the cross. But he came and he resurrected like he said he would. He would be in 3 days. For it is by grace, his favor and mercy, which you did not deserve. That is the truth, people. I know I didn't. And I mean, many of you probably feel the same way. I mean, I knew my lifestyle. And I could not see at that point in time how he had such mercy on me because of what I had done. But, you know, God sees differently than man. And I'm so thankful he does. Because we would look at somebody and say, get rid of them. There's no way. But God looks for one little place of entrance in a man's heart, like he did mine. There was one place in my heart that was open for God. I didn't know about it, but he did. And that's what I am so thankful for. And I just have such thankfulness and gratefulness to God. There doesn't a day go by that I don't be reminded, that I am not reminded of how God had such mercy on me. Why then can't I have mercy on others and be willing to lay down my life in Jesus Christ to help somebody else? And that's my heart. And if there's any way I can help anyone to come into a lifestyle of walking with God, I would do it. And he said, we did not deserve it, going back to verse 5, that you are saved, delivered from judgment, and made partakers of Christ's salvation. And he raised us up together with him and made us sit down together, giving us joint seating with him in the heavenly realm by virtue of our being in Christ Jesus, the Messiah, the Anointed One. He did that he might clearly demonstrate through the ages to come the immeasurable, limitless, surpassing riches of his free grace, his unmerited favor, and his kindness and goodness of heart toward us in Christ Jesus. I mean, that is so powerful to me. In other words, what grace and mercy he had on us, and he said we didn't deserve it, but in the natural we didn't. But God sees through in the spirit, and he knows he's created us, spirit, soul, and body. And our real man is spirit, the inner man. And God looks for any crack, any opening, any hope, any way he can reach the heart of a man and his spirit to bring in his presence. That's what he did for me. It was so overwhelming for me, that night of visitation from God. I couldn't get over it. I felt the presence of the love, the character, the nature of God that I didn't know, but I knew I was experiencing something that I had never, ever experienced. And inside of me, I wanted it. I didn't even think about what I was going to have to give up for it. And that's one thing that really needs to be in the heart of anyone who's going to walk on that narrow road. Don't think about what you're giving up. Think about what you're gaining. You're gaining eternal life. You're gaining fellowship with Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Father of all creation. You're gaining entrance with them in fellowship. I mean, that is worth more than anything that you think you're giving up out there. And you know what? God knows our heart. He knows our needs. He knows what it takes for us to be able to live on this earth on a daily basis. And he said he will provide what we need. I just rested in that. You know, I just thought, this is really exciting. I don't know where it's going to come from, how it's going to happen, but he's going to do it. And I took it the way of an excitement. This is a whole new life. And I'm looking forward to it, because it never hardly ever entered my mind when somebody would out there, you know, where I was at up there in Michigan when I was first walking with the Lord, people would come up to me and they would say, "Robert, what are you doing?" I said, I'm having the greatest time of my life I ever thought I could have. I mean, I'm walking with God. He's telling me where to go, what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And I said, I have such peace I've never had. And they would just go, "Oh, okay." That wasn't the answer they were looking for. But that was the answer God had put in my heart. And I know that if you're listening out there today and there's still a struggle in you about the narrow road, walking with God, and the requirement of walking with God is to give him your whole heart and obey him, you're not giving up anything in comparison for what you're gaining. I mean, you're gaining life eternal forever and ever. The peace and grace and mercy of God, it's beyond anything your mind, your body, your thinking can even realize. And so, in verse 8, "For it is by free grace, God's unmerited favor, that you're saved." Look at that, free grace. "Delivered from judgment, made partakers of Christ's salvation, through your faith. And this salvation is not of yourselves, of your own doing. It came not through your own striving, but it is the gift of God." That is so powerful. I mean, all I did for 35 years was strive and work and do and finagle and do all kind of stuff, thinking I've arrived. I'm on the pinnacle here. But you know what? I was deceived. But I had in my heart, there was a place, I didn't know it, a little place in my heart that God could find a way into me. And he did it, and he changed my heart, he changed my life, and I'm so thankful and grateful. The thankfulness, the gratefulness is overwhelming. And in verse 9, it's not because of works, not the fulfillment of the law's demands, lest any man should boast. It's not the result of what anyone can possibly do, so no one can pride himself in it or take glory to himself. In other words, it's all through Jesus Christ, and there's nothing that you or I can do that can give glory to us. He is the one who is to be glorified. God said all the glory and honor and praise goes to him. And that is the truth. And there was another area of Scripture that really has been important in my life, and it's very important in our church. Our pastors, Jane and Sam Whaley, who have the love of God so in their hearts, have shared this with us in 1 Corinthians 13. And it is a way to keep you locked into God and his purposes and his plans, and those pulls of the world won't get you, because you'll know I have the love of God in my heart, and God loves me, gave his life for me. I'm going to walk with him and talk with him and live with him, and I'm not going to be pulled off. But if you go to 1 Corinthians 13, and I'll start in just verse 4 for time here. Love endures long. It's patient and kind. Love never is envious, nor boils over with jealousy. It's not boastful, vainglorious, does not display itself haughtily. Verse 5. It is not conceited, arrogant, inflated with pride. It is not rude or unmannerly, and does not act unbecomingly. Love, God's love in us, does not insist on its own rights or its own way, for it is not self-seeking. There is some very strong keys, people. If you read this verse 5, to stay on that narrow road, to walk with God, to not be pulled off into the wide road with the world, if you let these be in your heart, it's not self-seeking. It's not seeking its own rights or its own way. It's not touchy, fretful, or resentful. It takes no account of the evil done to it. It pays no attention to a suffered wrong. That was a real work of the Spirit in my heart and life. Because before, when I wasn't walking with God those other 35 years, it was easy for me to get offended. If somebody said something the wrong way or something about me the wrong way. But now, when anything is said about me, Jesus, help me, help them. I'm not concerned, because you are the one that's Lord of my life. And I'm trusting you. And he says in verse 6, it does not rejoice at injustice and unrighteousness, but rejoices when right and truth prevail. Love, verse 7, bears up under anything and everything that comes. Isn't that good? Is ever ready to believe the best of every person. It hopes are fadeless under all circumstances, and it endures everything without weakening. You know, that's one of the devil's ploys, is circumstances to come into your life, to happen, that would cause you to maybe try to find a way out there, and not going to God, trusting him and realizing that God can change a circumstance overnight. I mean, his power is unlimited. So you got to just become wise to the traps and the ways that the devil tries to use to snare you, pull you off of that road walking with God into that wide road to destruction. And then verse 8, I love this. Love never fails, never fades out, or becomes obsolete or comes to an end. As for prophecy and those other things, they will come to an end. But love never fails. And look at the last verse, 13 of this chapter. And so faith, hope, love abide. Faith is conviction and belief respecting man's relation to God and divine things. Hope is joyful and confident expectation of eternal salvation. I have a great hope. I hope you do out there this morning. Have a great hope, our confident expectation of eternal salvation. Love, true affection for God and man. Listen to that. True affection. Growing out of God's love for and in us. These three, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So people out there this morning, if I can encourage you any way I can, trust God. Let the love of God enter into your being that will change your desires, your thoughts, your thinking. He will put you on the right course, that narrow road to walk with Him and be a part of the move of God that's taking place on this earth today. And we all know, we can look around us, the signs of the times. We're in the last days. We are definitely in the end times. And it's so much more important for each of us to stay centered into God, walking on that narrow road, never letting ourselves be pulled off by the plans of the devil in that wide road to destruction. And where God said, this is the time of the great apostasy. Many who have even confessed faith as a Christian have fallen away because of the hour of temptation and test that we're living in today. Satan is raging because the ends are coming for him. So if I can do anything to encourage you today, to help you, if you read those scriptures we went over today, study them yourself, you will be a changed person. And I want to tell you, this has been Word of Faith Fellowship. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9, to share with you truths and testimonies. And you can also go to wordoffaithfellowship.org and look up radio programs. You can find another program on there. You could maybe go today and find a couple more you want to listen to, and you'll be blessed. So we just love you, and we thank you this morning for listening.
Get the first weather forecast at 6:05 here on 100.9 FM 590 AM WCAB Rutherfordton. From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Companies across the country still looking for help. ABC's Aaron Katursky.
There were notable job gains last month in